I've been an award show fanatic for as long as I can remember, so nights like these never disappoint for me. Glitz, glam, and of course, absolutely amazing films getting the recognition they work sometimes years for.
And talk about hard work. Some of those vendors were here until 2:30 in the morning getting things ready. And as somebody who's been to the fair every year for 24 years.
You have?
I have.
Haven't missed one, huh?
I'm a very loyal fan.
What do you think, then?
I am very excited to have this extra day and glad that these vendors could get the tents up and get those grills going.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful extra day.
Yeah. $145 million in new capital, so certainly a long road still ahead for the centuries-old company. But Joseph and Remington having pretty high hopes there.
Now, will Remington be able to stay in business while going through the restructuring process?
Yep, that's the goal, and as of now, it appears all the jobs at the Ilion plant are safe. The idea really is as simple as this. Someone having a bad day walks by this wall feeling maybe like they need a little bit of confidence. So they pull out one of these slips of paper, each one with a message. You don't have to be a member of the Whitesboro Police Department or even live in this community to feel the heaviness in the air here. This banner placed over the police department's sign, a somber sight honoring the life of Officer Crossley. Basically, she can file with a couple different agencies, but what they told her is if she even were to get that refund, it wouldn't come until 2018, and even that is still up in the air. It just seems like one piece of bad news after the other for Alfred Angelo customers. Well, a much quieter day for first responders after Friday's massive storm. The heavy, wet snow hitting Oneida County particularly hard. As News Channel 9's Rob Hackford found out, at times, dispatchers got more calls yesterday than any other storm this season. They want better communication from the district. That's really the bottom line. They say the last thing they were told was that the threat was not credible, but that was before the arrest was made. But there was also a teacher at today's meeting who says everything was handled the right way.
1,200 calories burned, 3 miles walked, 8,000 steps taken. So burned off a little bit, maybe not that entire breakfast sandwich you guys just tried.
Some of the best gifts during the holiday season don't come from Santa when we're kids. They come later in life when we least expect them. Just like the gem News Channel 9's Sean Martinelli found for us in Preble tonight. Joey's mom tells me this is number 25 of about 77 fire stations they're hoping to see throughout Onondaga and Oswego counties. So far, they've seen all the Syracuse City stations more than once. They've also seen Oswego City and Pulaski, just to name a few, saying each one even better than the last. The conditions are dangerous, and it's largely because of this, the heaviness of this snow. It took down that tree and those power lines that you're looking at right now. We actually just talked to the mayor of the city of Rome, who said this is a scene that you can pretty much find in any of the 72 square miles of the city of Rome. Well, good morning, Dan and Jennifer. Every year, school districts do their best to remind drivers that the buses are back. They even have students make bumper stickers like these that say "Stop for the bus," because when it comes to distracted driving around a school bus, it's ultimately those kids that are put at risk. Outflow from Lake Ontario is actually going to start decreasing. It's not what the governor is asking for in his letter to the organization, but they say they've been doing everything in their power to get lake levels down, especially since there are some guidelines to follow. So here's what Governor Cuomo says. Well, Rod, it's really about public engagement. So getting the people who walk these sidewalks and drive these roads every single day to weigh in on how they think the city should handle things like snow removal in priority areas. City Hall knows people are frustrated. So far, so good. It looks like people are keeping a pretty close eye on these parking signs to make sure they're on the correct side at the correct time. A bunch of them actually moving their cars over to the other side of the road in preparation for that 6 o'clock deadline. Now, Rod, a new no parking sign in North Syracuse, a drugstore chain switching hands, and will you ever see that refund from your Sam's Club membership? 3 popular questions I can answer for you tonight. Let's start with Sam's Club. If you want to avoid slipping and sliding this winter, you've probably thought about buying salt to spread on your sidewalks and driveways. But when it's this cold out and there are so many options, are any of them actually effective? There's really no way to prevent the chip from actually falling out of the card, at least not one they've discovered yet. So we're kind of dealing with the aftermath at this point. First things first, as soon as you notice that that chip has fallen out, call your bank. Call your credit card company. That way they can deactivate it, and that prevents, if somebody does pick it up and is trying to use it, they won't be able to. You probably see distracted drivers out on the road every single day. So do state troopers. That's why they're enforcing the Operation Hang Up campaign, hoping you'll put the phone down and keep your eyes up, making everyone safer while out on the road. I went with Trooper Kohler for the first round of enforcement.
Yep, and that's clearly a cell phone.
In about 10 minutes, we spotted our first cell phone user and pulled her over.
A lot of people don't realize how severe the penalty is for it. You know, it's 5 points on your license, and after 11 points, your license gets suspended.
But just because he writes her a ticket doesn't mean he's happy with the traffic stop.
Nobody really likes giving tickets, but police officers don't like going to accidents where people are hurt or killed. So it's, you know, one or the other. To go to car accidents where people are getting hurt because of distracted driving, or write tickets to and promote traffic safety.
So that's what he'll keep doing on another stop and another, hoping drivers will get the message sooner rather than later.
It's just one of those things that people really don't learn until something happens.
He's just hoping by then it won't be too late. In Homer, Sydney Chalifoux, News Channel 9.
Scary. Yeah. When you come out here and you see all your life, you know, all your life gone.
As Beth Delonzo is recalling the damage her Mexico marina faced last summer, her husband Mike works on clients' boats because this year didn't allow for their usual winter time out.
We had to do that business all winter. I started the year out this winter where I usually have money put away to cover me for the winter. I started the year out where I had to take a $20,000 loan out.
That to repair docks taken over by the still higher than normal water. And with rain in the forecast, flooding may be on the Delonzo's mind, but they're not panicking yet.
The big raise was started in May, and it's probably going to do the same thing this year. So they kept on going up right into June and went right over our docks.
Sandbags still fill the yard of the Delonzo's marina and home. The docks feet higher than where they were this time last year, and they both think they're not out of the weeds yet. If you ask them how much longer they can do this, their answer is disheartening.
I'm ready to quit now, to be truthful with you. I mean, I'm done. It's been hard.
But they've still got a mortgage to pay.
See this? This was all underwater.
Just hoping they can make it work.
And I hope it don't happen, but I'm pretty sure it will.
Until then, they'll keep working, even through the off-season. In Mexico, Sydney Chalifoux, News Channel 9. This weekend with heavy rain and flooding, but the quick drop in temperature turned all of that water into this, ice chunks as thick as textbooks. Most you can't even move, flooded roads and driveways, and with a warm-up on the way this coming weekend, people are wondering what to do next. So was your whole yard filled with water?
Oh, yeah.
People like Mary Pedersen, who spent decades living on the water, so often a source of comfort, but this winter, a living nightmare. Was this the worst you've ever seen it?
Yeah, it's the worst. I've been here 40 years, and I never saw it like this before.
Before all of this froze over, the 82-year-old had to be rescued by boat from her front steps.
By the time I got to the firehouse, my coat was soaking wet, my gloves were soaking wet. I had a fireman's blanket over me to keep me warm.
She came home to inches of water in her garage and a car that's a total loss.
They already totaled the car today, and they're coming in the morning to get it.
But she worries it's not over.
It's usually just 2-3 days, and then it's all down, but this time it's going to be something to see it going down, because I don't think it's, if it goes fast, we'll get flooded.
Because when entire yards, roads, and driveways are piled this high with ice, a warm-up on the way could be dangerous, a fact on the mind of Pedersen's son, Darren Smith.
I got my sisters on alert to someone might have to come retrieve her, so, you know, we've got a lot of us in the area, so she's got support.
Support they hope she won't need. In Sylvan Beach, Sydney Chalifoux, News Channel 9. We're about to get on the RC-48 speed coaster. It has not been at the New York State Fair in 3 years, so come on. Okay, so I come to the fair every single year, but I haven't been on a ride here since I was a little kid. So this will be my first roller coaster in a few years. Feeling a little nervous, but I think it'll be exciting.
awesome. Short, too short. All right, so next up we have the Broadway Skyliner. This is the first ever year that this is at the New York State Fair, and we're going to give it a shot, so come on. Thank you. Okay, so that is a perfect ride for somebody who wants something a little slower, a little more low-key. I also, bonus, checked out a lot of good new food places along the route, so win-win. This log flume ride is bringing the big amusement park feel to the State Fair. Not the best day for it, a little chilly, but I'm going to brave it and give it a shot anyway. Oh my God! So, word to the wise, bring an extra pair of shoes. They're soaked. Well, it's been a little bit. My shoes are finally dry, thank goodness. But if that's not your thing, there's plenty of other options here on the Midway. It really just depends what kind of thrill you're looking for. Dan and Christy?